Hello, Dartmouth Centre. Sam Austin, your councillor here to talk to you about the 2021 budget and what it means here in our district. It's a bit of an unusual year for Dartmouth Centre. There's a lot on the go, much more so than normal. It's kind of a combination of new stuff, some carryover projects, a couple things that have been in the works for a real long time, and the special circumstances of hosting Canoe 22 next year. So let's go take a look. Canoe 22 means that HRM is going to be sprucing up a lot of spaces around Lake Banook this year. It's already happened with the boardwalk repairs, but there's more in store around the lake, including here at Silvers Hill. At Silvers Hill, we're going to be doing a big park refresh. The old concrete bleachers behind me will come out and will be replaced with new ones. There'll be a proper pathway put up the hill, and we'll be building a new naturalized seating area lower down. Over at Birch Cove, there'll be some work this year too, but it's much more minor in scope. Birch Cove already works really well, whereas Silvers Hill, it was time for a refresh of the space. Here at Graham's Grove, HRM will be undertaking a major project as well. The old buildings behind me will be going away, and in their place, HRM will be building two new buildings. I really can't wait to share the design for them. It's really something special that's been done that acknowledges Graham's Grove's place on the shores of Lake Banook. The new buildings will provide space for the Kiwanis Club, the Dragon Boaters, and there'll be a new public bathroom as well. The project is made possible because of the Kiwanis Club involvement. They're contributing financially to it, and they've been pursuing this for the better part of a decade now. Many thanks to the club for all that they do in Dartmouth and their commitment to Graham's Grove. Also, as part of this project, the parking lot behind me will get resurfaced. It'll become a proper asphalt parking lot, which I know will be appreciated given how poor a condition it is in. Here on Prince Albert Road, the ambitious road redesign is going ahead this year. What is 4 lanes now from Superstore to Sinclair will become 2. It's possible to redesign Prince Albert Road because the street is already basically a 2-lane road. None of the side streets take off any great volume of traffic, and 4 lanes becomes 2 after Sinclair. So from a traffic capacity point of view, whether we narrow at the Superstore or whether we narrow at Sinclair, it really doesn't make any difference. What does make a difference is having 4 lanes makes for a worse quality of life and experience along Lake Banook, and it also makes the area more dangerous by increasing the distance that pedestrians have to cross and encouraging higher speeds. So what we're going to do with the reclaimed space is we will expand the parkland around Lake Banook, and we'll be adding bike lanes to Prince Albert. I really can't wait to see the results. I think this is going to be a fantastic change for this part of Dartmouth. The Prince Albert project is more than just a transportation project. One of the project's key elements is designed to improve the water quality in Lake Banook. In the space behind me, made up of Prince Albert Road, Sinclair, and Rixdale, HRM will be building an artificial marsh. Then we'll be directing the stormwater that lands on the roads into that marsh. By doing so, we're going to prevent pollutants that are accumulated on the road, nutrients and sediments, from washing directly into the lake like they do now. Instead, the stormwater will be absorbed in the marsh by thirsty plants and the ground. HRM has never built a project like this before. This is a first for HRM. It could become a template for many more like it. Besides the rain garden here on Prince Albert Road, HRM will also be taking action on a couple other items in the Banook pollution control study this year. We'll be putting the pigeon netting in underneath the circumferential bridge. We'll be rolling out enhanced street sweeping on all streets in Dartmouth that drain into Banook and Micmac, since we don't have a rain garden for every street just yet. And we'll be scaling up the lake water monitoring program that is scheduled to make its return in 2022 for the first time in many, many years. The other big lake project underway in District 5 this year is the yellow floating heart pilot here in Little Albro Lake. Yellow floating heart is an invasive species. When left to its own devices, it will completely take over the environment, and that's what it's done here in Little Albro Lake. The pilot project is benthic mats, and so we've laid these mats down on the bottom of the lake in 2 locations to see if the mats can suffocate the plant by cutting it off from sunlight. It's the same idea as using landscape fabric on land. The pilot project, if it works, could become a template for a bigger control project here in the lake to see if we can get a handle on this issue. So, if you live around Little Albro Lake, please don't disturb the equipment or the mats. It could interfere with the results of the project. Prince Albert Road isn't the only District 5 street that's going to see a transformation this year. Wise Road from the intersection of Thistle behind me to Albro Lake Road will be getting bike lanes, and they'll be protected bike lanes at that. This is part of the Integrated Mobility Plan's minimum grid, the grid of connected bike lanes throughout the regional center that HRM is committed to build. In a future phase, we'll link the bridge down to the Harbor Trail, either via Wise and Windmill, or possibly Shore Road, or possibly both. We don't have that design detail quite worked out just yet. The end result of this year's construction is you'll be able to take your bike from the bridge, down Wise Road, across the Common, through the Dahlia Street local bikeway, and then on to the Banook network. It's great to see this key piece of cycling infrastructure getting built. The Flower Streets Complete Streets project is a go this year. The project will see Dahlia Street transformed into a local street bikeway. But it's about more than just accommodating bikes. The project includes a number of traffic calming improvements and improvements for pedestrians as well. At one end of Dahlia, at the Common, we'll be adding a proper crosswalk to bridge across Victoria Road. Along Dahlia, there'll be speed bumps, and then as we come down to the Sullivan's Pond end, the messy exit from Dahlia to the pond will be fixed, and there'll be a new sidewalk that will wrap right around the block and go up Oak Street behind me, taking away the hazardous blind corner that pedestrians currently have to navigate when going down Oak. I'm very pleased with the results of this project. The two top complaints I get out of the Flower Streets is access to the commons and the difficulty of safely exiting the neighborhood on foot to Sullivan's Pond, and this is going to fix both those issues. Here on Renfrew Street, HRM will be undertaking a major project. It's basically part 2 of the work that was done previously over on Chadwick Street. So there'll be all new paving, there'll be work done to the water and sewer lines, and the sidewalk behind me will be extended down Renfrew. It's possible to extend the sidewalk by narrowing the road, the parking on one side, but what we gain is a dedicated space for pedestrians and a much safer street for everybody. One of the extra items that Council added to the budget this year was $1 million for traffic calming. This has resulted in 3 streets in District 5 getting projects, including right here at Hawthorne, where the school zone on Hawthorne and Erskine will get speed bumps. The other streets in District 5 for this year are Glenwood and Celtic. They'll be getting speed bumps as well. And HRM will also be following up on work previously done on Joffrey. The speeds are still high on Joffrey, so we'll be adding some speed bumps to Joffrey as well. I'm very happy to see these traffic calming projects in the works here in District 5. Here on the Dartmouth Common, Council has allocated money for the Dartmouth Splash Pad. The splash pad will go right here behind me on the former volleyball court. We're basically opposite the skateboard park and just off Wise Road right now. The splash pad has been made possible thanks to a lot of community engagement from the Friends of the Dartmouth Splash Pad and the financial support of the Shirley Clark family. Many thanks to everyone who's participated in this effort. The splash pad project has encountered a couple of tendering challenges, and it's looking like if construction does get started this year, it will be in the fall, but this could end up being a carryover project until the spring. In either case, the important thing is the money has been allocated, so it's now a question of when, no longer if. So, summer 2022, thanks to money set aside in this budget, there'll be a new splash pad here on the Dartmouth Common, and play returns to this spot. HRM will be undertaking work this year in Northbrook Park. The second phase of the park plan is getting ready to roll. The second phase was put on hold last year while we waited to see if the developer of the apartment building behind me was interested in daylighting Northbrook inside the park. The answer to that ended up being no, so now HRM is carrying on with that carryover work. This year's effort will see the pathways redone, the bridges fixed, and lighting added to the park. There is a third phase of the Northbrook plan, which we'll have to wait for a future budget year, that will see better connections made over to Richmond Street, up to Victoria Road, and over to Westbrook and Eastbrook Avenue. It's great to see this little park getting some much needed love. It was a very neglected space, and I'm glad to see that HRM is really investing in making it into the neighborhood space that it should be. Here at Penhorn Lake, HRM is looking to build upon the good work that's already been done with the new active transportation trail and the new washroom facility. This year, the municipality has provided the Penhorn Lake Area Trails Association with a grant. The grant will be used to complete the recreational loop around the lake, so that you'll be able to go for a walk, just like you can on Oat Hill, right around the lake in its entirety. Plata is still looking for other sources of funding. They are awaiting word on the province to see if there'll be funding there. And of course, I'm willing to make some district capital contributions towards this project. I think it will be a fantastic addition to what is already a great spot in the heart of Dartmouth. The Sawmill River project appears in this year's budget too. It's actually in the multi-year capital portion. And so what's in store is in 2022, HRM will be building the bridge from Dundas Street over into Dartmouth Cove. End of the project from Portland, Prince Albert, Alderney intersection down is well designed and well developed at this point. What happens in this section, the lower end of the Canal Greenway, is still a bit of an unknown. This is the one section along the river where we have a great deal of property to work with. There's a lot of width to this space, which is unique along the river's course. And so that opens up some possibilities in terms of, how we treat the bank along the river. What I would really like to see is a more naturalized approach, at least on one side, giving people an opportunity to get down a little closer to the water. We'll see what's possible this year, because as part of the budget, our parks planners will be working on it. So I hope to have more to share on this later this year. Here at the Dartmouth Lawn Bowls, I'm pleased to say that HRM is finally going to be replacing the green. This has been a carryover project that's been in the works the last 2 years. COVID disrupted it last year, and this year it's finally going to happen. We're going to have a new green surface here at the Lawn Bowl Club. Here at Brownlow Park, HRM will be completing the last phase of the park refresh. The playground has already been done, and so was the fields last year. Now the remaining pathways, which are mostly in bad condition, will be rebuilt, and HRM is looking at doing some work with the basketball court as well. Here at Alderney, HRM is going to be continuing the good work that was done previously in the pedway. The same architect is behind the lobby project that's upcoming, and basically we're going to take down the curtain wall of the library and create one big open space down there on the lobby level. The new space will also have a bathroom, so there'll be no more hunting for a bathroom down at the ferry terminal or up in the second floor of the library. I think this will be a wonderful new public space just in time for us to hopefully see the end of COVID. COVID was something that came up throughout Council's budget deliberations, mainly around the tax rate, but also in terms of what is it the municipality could directly do to help people who are struggling. One of the ideas that has emerged is a civic events program. Basically, HRM is going to be running a bunch of events in downtown Halifax and downtown Dartmouth throughout the summer. In Dartmouth, it'll probably mainly be here at Ferry Terminal Park. The idea is to draw visitors. In terms of the Atlantic bubble, the thing we have going for us in HRM is we are the big city experience of Atlantic Canada, and holding a bunch of events is something that we can do to try and capitalize on that advantage that we have. So the idea is to draw some visitors to the downtown to help our struggling businesses, but it should also end up being something that's enjoyable for locals as well. So we can look forward to an entertaining summer in downtown Halifax and downtown Dartmouth. So that's what's up in District 5 this year. For more information, you can reach out to me via email, austins@halifax.ca, and you could also check out my website, www.samaustin.ca. I put out a monthly e-newsletter that you can sign up for on my website, where I will put out any information I get on these projects as it becomes available. Thanks for watching and listening. Have a great day.